From the sprawling vast savanna grasslands to the breathtaking undulating hills, from the steep volcanic Mount Elgon with its spectacular Sipi Falls, to the southwestern Mount Mhavura skirted with the impenetrable windy Ngahinga, home to the endangered mountain gorilla. From the jagged slopes of snow-capped Mount Rwenzori in the west to the shores of East African Great Lakes. These are the rare suitable conditions that favored Uganda to be the birthplace of Robusta coffee and also an ideal place for growing some of the world's finest Arabica coffees. Known to have originally found growing wildly in Uganda's forests, Robusta coffee had been traditionally enjoyed by indigenous people in Uganda for centuries before spreading to other parts of the world. Robusta coffee being native habitat of Lake Victoria Crescent, Ugandans have mastered the art of growing this precious species. The value chain starts right from the high-tech specialized labs where disease-resistant planting materials are meticulously developed to ensure quality and good harvest. They are readied for distribution to farmers across the country. Seedlings nursery operators certified by Uganda Coffee Development Authority, a government statutory body mandated to oversee the development, regulation and promotion of the coffee industry in Uganda, has been facilitating the farmers in establishing mother gardens, mass-producing the seedlings and managing distribution to farmers. Robusta coffee is the major type of coffee variety grown in Uganda, accounting for about 80% of production. It grows in most low-altitude areas of the country, covering central, eastern, mid-north, West Nile, western and southwestern that are within 900 to 1,500 meters above sea level. As a result, Uganda's Robusta is often classed amongst the world's finest Robusta coffees. Besides smallholder farmers, Uganda, a natural habitat for coffee growing, also offers a real opportunity for large-scale coffee production. Coffee is a strategic commodity whose development is being accelerated across the country to enable the sector continue playing a leading role of income generation for coffee value chain stakeholders. To achieve this, Uganda coffee farmers enhance their production and productivity at farm level in a sustainable way that addresses social, ecological and economic dimensions. Arabica coffee species, which accounts for 20% of Uganda's coffee volume, is grown in the highland areas on the slopes of Mount Elgon in the east, Mount Rwenzori in the west, and Mount Mhavura in the southwestern region. Okoro Highlands in West Nile, plus other highland areas at an altitude between 1,200 to 2,500 meters above sea level, with an optimum daily temperature range of 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. High elevation improves the quality of the bean and potential cupping quality due to a delay in ripening caused by cooler weather associated with higher altitudes. Coffee trees grown under these conditions produce superior quality premium coffee required by the world market. Taking care of the coffee trees throughout their stages of growth is critical if farmers have to realize rewarding harvest. Plantations are intercropped with bananas, a favorite staple food for the most people in Uganda, to give shade to their trees. Mulching is widely practiced, for it improves yield by facilitating better regulation of moisture levels in the soil, thereby increasing soil moisture retention and improving surface water filtration into the soil. Besides, it is a much more environmentally friendly method of controlling weeds, thereby eliminating use of herbicides. Use of inorganic fertilizer is extremely low. Instead, application of organic fertilizers is relatively higher. This justifies the increasing number of farmers who are certified as organic, or fair trade farmers. Water is the backbone of agricultural production. Therefore, Ugandan farmers put in place measures to ensure that their coffee trees have access to adequate water to sustain them during establishment and productive stages. Large-scale farmers invest in solar systems to provide uninterrupted supply through a network of pipes. The farmers' efforts are rewarded with thriving lush coffee gardens, and coffee cherries ripen under the perfect conditions. Two harvest seasons exist in Uganda: the main harvest season and the minor season. The best quality coffee is obtained from selective picking of red ripe cherries. In that regard, Ugandan farmers strive to practice selective picking as the best way to ensure that quality in the tree is transferred to the cup. Clean containers are used to avoid mold growth. Good post-harvest practices are critically followed to maintain good quality. Two methods for coffee processing exist: wet processing and dry processing. Dry processing is mainly used for Robustas. The drying starts immediately after harvest. Meticulous quality control is followed during drying so as to obtain high-quality dry beans. The red cherries with their husks intact are spread out to dry in the sun on suitable drying surfaces, mostly raised trays or tarpaulins. Farmers take advantage of the freely abundant sunshine, which is conducive for this process to dry the coffee. Some farmers are shifting to using large or small-scale solar dryers to quicken the drying time and maintain uniformity. Drying is usually complete when the cherries have attained a moisture content of 13 to 14%. The dried parchment is stored in clean sisal bags which are placed on pallets that are slightly raised to avoid wetting by ground moisture. Care is taken to ensure that the well-ventilated coffee stores or warehouses are isolated from strong-smelling liquids such as petrol or paraffin or diesel, or agricultural fertilizers and chemicals to avoid contamination of the final cup. A number of coffee processing factories registered with and certified by Uganda Coffee Development Authority exist in Uganda, some of which are owned by multinational enterprises, individual coffee entrepreneurs, while others are owned by farmers' associations. Here, parchment coffee from farmers undergoes the processes of destoning and removing other unwanted materials and cleaned before undergoing the furling process, whereby husks are removed, leaving only green beans. The green beans are further subjected to meticulous hand sorting to remove unwanted materials that may have escaped the sieving machine. One important economic consideration of sustainability is the role of gender and youths in coffee farming. In Uganda, women play an important role in coffee production. Therefore, productivity and quality can easily be improved in the coffee value chain by providing more opportunities to women and the youth, who form the majority of the population in Uganda. Wet processing, on the other hand, is more complex than dry processing, requiring specific equipment and the availability of large quantities of clean water. The process, which starts immediately after harvest, entails removing the pulp from the red ripe cherries, after which the coffee is thoroughly washed before drying. To ensure maximum retention of the good coffee attributes, some farmers have set up indoor drying facilities where the green coffee is allowed to dry naturally on racks under controlled conditions. Coffees processed this way retain the best coffee flavors and are generally described as mild. Arabica coffees, which account for 20% of Uganda's coffee production, are mostly processed this way. Assessing the quality of green beans and finding out its attributes is important in coffee export business. Uganda Coffee Development Authority has a well-equipped quality control laboratory which monitors the quality of coffee before it is cleared as export quality. Samples from intending exporters are brought in here to be assessed and graded by teams of qualified roasters and cappers, trained and certified through the Global Industry Standards Coffee Quality Institute. Here, export grading classifies the clean coffee or fair average quality into the various coffee grades that meet the international export standards. The assessment is crowned with subjecting the sampled coffee to a meticulous cupping session. This is the way of assessing the flavors and traits of a coffee cup. A certificate to export is subsequently issued, and any coffee that is found below standard is rejected at this stage. Over 95% of Uganda's total annual coffee production is exported as green beans. Value addition in coffee is steadily growing in Uganda. Large and medium-scale roasters are keenly responding to this growth. At roaster level, coffee is certified under the East African Standard on Roast and Ground Coffee in line with the Ugandan National Bureau of Standards. Roasteries that meet both local and international demand of Ugandan roasted coffee are widespread across the country. A variety of emerging brands in market are indication that value addition is viable if the country is to fully reap the financial benefits from its unique coffee. A vibrant domestic coffee consumption culture is progressively gaining momentum as many Ugandans develop the palate for well-brewed coffee in the mushrooming cafes. This vivacious coffee consumption trend undoubtedly supplements Uganda's distinctive tourism sector that offers unmatched attractions on the continent, to the fact that no tourist visits and leaves the country without experiencing that irresistibly sweet aromatic taste of Uganda's coffee. As Uganda pushes forward with its drive to attain a middle-income status, one of its strategic goals is to accelerate coffee production from the current 7 million to 20 million bags. To achieve this, Uganda Coffee Development Authority is increasing the yield of coffee per tree and ensuring excellent quality of all coffees that are sold on the local and international markets.